Hello, I'd like to talk to us today about, gossip. A great man once said, the worst thing that being talked about is not being talked about. And I want to say something to us. If you make up your mind to become a celebrity, definitely, you indirectly sign a contract with the rest of the society to lose your privacy relatively. Once you put yourself in public domain, then your matter, your topic becomes public domain, public discussion or part of public debate. Whatever you do, people must talk. There is no alternative to please everybody. So please get over it. And there's nothing you can do in this world to erode the fact that people will always suspect your motive. You can never be so perfect so as to escape public suspicion. Whatever you do, people must suspect your motive. There's no alternative to please everybody. Please get over it. Ironically, so many people spend almost all their life trying to be famous. And when they become famous, they now spend relatively, the remaining part of their lives just trying to be famous, trying to cover up again. You crave for publicity. And once you get it, you now seek absurdity. You now seek mediocrity. You now seek privacy. You wonder why some of the celebrities even cover their eyes, even in the night. I wonder, why they put on sunglasses at night. Some of them is part of human nature. The public is the mirror, in which or through which we see ourselves. Whatever you do, you cannot overcome public opinion. So please get over it. If you do well, people must talk. If you don't do well, people must talk. So do well and let people talk. Gossip. Some are constructive, some are destructive. But I want to say something to you. There's a cardinal factor that really rules gossip, especially when you're coming from the spiritual realm. Whatever you're doing in life and you're not talked about, forget it. Relatively, you're not gaining value in the spiritual realm. But when your action or inaction, omission or commission, negligence or indulgence, begins to generate public debate, count yourself lucky, count yourself valuable. That means in the spiritual realm, your works acts, actually generating value spiritually. As long as you live in the world of duality, the world of negative and positive, physical, spiritual, mental, psychological, economical, biological, universal, you must be talked about. How do you define reality? Liquid, solid, gaseous, gas. You're either liquid, you're solid, or you're gaseous. Or what the chemists and the physicists, call gas. How do you define reality again? By past, present, and future. How do you define sexuality? Either male, female, what they call hermaphrodite. Even some people say they are sexual, or whatever you call it, sexuality and all those things. But sometimes this is our sexuality actually threatens our spirituality. How do you define weather? The other hot or cold? The other day, night. Actually in the day you have morning, afternoon, night. Morning, afternoon, evening, then night. You have the winter, you have the summer, you have the springtime. Then you have the winter, springtime, autumn, and all the rest of them. Summer. So once you're in the public debate, in a domain, be ready to be talked about. Be ready to be gossiped about. Learn to gain emotional maturity to tolerate people's negative, words about you. Don't overreact. They must conspire against you. They must talk against you. They must debate against you. Some even lay curses on you. Some even bless you. But just know that there's no alternative to please everyone. There's no alternative to make everybody happy. Even many people are even actually sad when you make them, when you're trying to make them happy. Some people are just relatively sadist. They're sadistic, They're sociopathic. They're psychopathic. Their empathy is just less than average. Their consideration is less than average. So please learn to get over, these innuendos, these gossips, these unbeneficial clamors, chattering, murmurings of people. Learn to be yourself. Be the man you are. Be the woman you are. Be tenacious to your calling. Hand duty calls. Obey. Try as much as you can, to run this race and finish on the path of perfection. Create standards. Set aspirations for yourself. Life is larger than logic. Remember, you're born sick and asked to be well. You're born ignorant and asked to be enlightened. You're born blind mentally and asked to see. Life is like a gutter. You're born, you're thrown into it. You're asked to fill it up. You continue filling. The day, the moment, the hour, you feel, you fill up the last dregs or the last space in your destiny. Then off you go. Nobody can take away your life before your time. Nobody can destroy you. They might destroy this physical body, but spiritually, nobody can destroy you. Because life is bigger than this physical reality we are seeing. Life is spiritual. But to create something greater than you is to live. To live is to be understood. To live is to understand and be understood. Ironically, so many people pass through this journey called life without understanding the purpose of their creation, the purpose of their existence. Some abuse their destiny through relationships, through bad association, through bribery, through corruption, through murder, through messing their lives up in the early stages of their life, and then spending the rest of their lives in imprisonment and confinement. Some abuse their glories, their destinies, their talents through pollution, of their calling, through corruption, of the divine intention for them. Barbarism pollutes your realism. Imbecility pollutes your mentality. Atrocity erodes, your utility. Whatever you do, try to be moralistic. Try to be humanitarian. Yes, we live in the world. People by the occultic, the acidic, the atrocious, and the unrighteous. But it is the duty of the enlightened to create the value that destroys the progression of iniquity. You are created for a purpose. You are a child of purpose. Stop abusing your dignity. Stop abusing the morality of the society. You didn't happen by accident. You're a child of divine purpose. You're created into a challenge. You faced many challenges, and you still have a lot of challenges to face. Life is a summation of challenges. Remember, we are promised a safe landing, but not a smooth voyage. The journey of life is going to be very, very rough. Prepare yourself for it. Prepare your children. Prepare your friends for it. But if you run this race to the end, tenaciously, righteously, patriotically, you win the laurel, the glory, the victory. Actually, your victory gives you the laurel, your spiritual safety and liberty. Some have asked, who were we before creation? Where were we introduced into this, inglorious decade in the 21st century? Where hypocrisy is taken for diplomacy. Where barbarism is the order of the day. Where corruption, is enthroned. Where sanity becomes insanity. Where insecurity and uncertainty rose. Why we are being introduced into this era? Where science is trying to erode our, intelligence. Where science is trying to erode the fruit of our spirituality, the glory of our fidelity, and the root of our, moralistic culture. Where sexuality threatens our spirituality. Where bigotry and religious hypocrisy reigns. In a society where pedophilia actually is the order of the day. Where what we are formerly told is evil is today seen as normal. Society where abnormality is the reigning, normality. We begin to question our existence. We begin to question our endowments. We begin to question our civilization, our genes, our genetics. We begin to question our moral authority, because there's a pollution of consciousness. There's erosion of spiritual and cultural values. Yes, there's moralistic evolution, but where is it leading us to? We're increasingly getting machinated. Machines are taking over. We're increasingly getting medicated. Medicines has taken over. Our genes are almost corrupted. We are losing every sense of naturalism, naturality. Artificiality is taking over now. Even the food we consume are genetically modified. What the scientists are doing is not going to destroy where they're heading to. Is to destroy our natural genes. They want to have genetically modified, humanity. They're acting God. They want to push God aside. This we must resist. This we must unite to confront and overcome. It's certainly revealed that Southeast Asia, they're trying to generate or produce or manufacture genetically modified human beings that can fight wars, that can withstand pain and agony and all those things. They're acting God. They're destroying embryos. They're trying to modify human beings in their lab to produce superhuman beings, superheroes. So we've been going to the worst part, of bringing animal, ovary, eggs and the sperm and mixing them with that of human So they want to produce half human, half animal. Who did this to us? Where is the boundary, that separates, morality from immorality? Why did we lose our sensibilities and sensitivities as a humanity? Who can cure this, nationalized insanity? Who can cure this, institutionalized psychiatry? Where are the moralists? Where are the humanitarians? Who did this to us? I call on humanity. I say unite, rise to defend our nature, defend our dignity, defend our spirituality, our morality, defend that integrity that separates us from the cult of animalism. Stop everything that abuses our intelligence. Stop everything that abuses our psychology, our ecology, our geography, our chemistry, our physics, biology, and sociology. Stop everything that abuses, our tenacity, our moralistic purpose as human species. We are one or none. Color separates us. We agree. Mindset separates us. Value system separates us. Religion separates us. Politics separates us. But remember, there's a universal factor that unites all of us. Human. Human. Woman, you're human. Man, you're human. Human. Our humanity is a sine qua non to our reality. Preponderance, of the world's fault in the previous decades, recent ones, this current one, and the ones going to come, are born out of inglorious pride, arrogance, ignorance, vanity, egotism, and of course, occultism. People waste majority of their, time and hours just trying to be famous, trying to prove their superiority. You're superior to nobody. Because the grave awaits all. Highest you spend there is 1,000 years, 500 years, 800 years. You kill as many as you're going to kill, then you end up being killed. We live between time and space. Who are you, man? What are you, man? Racist. Homophobic. You that cannot tolerate. You that hate people because of their sexuality, because of their religion, because of their political beliefs. You that hate people because of the color of their skins, the shape of their nose, the color of their eyes. You that hate people because of the length of their hairs. You that is a slave to colorism. Wake up and look up. Wake up. That abused child, you're the one I'm talking to. The child whose innocence has been abused. The child that lives in a man. That innocent child in a man. That innocent girl in a woman that's been abused. Whose value systems, whose aspirations, whose mindset has been abused. That's what I'm talking to. Look up, don't give up. Don't mess up and set up, don't give up. You belong to the top. You can still overcome your problems. You can still overcome your trauma. You can still overcome this sickness as a society. You can overcome the abuses. You can overcome loneliness, poverty, illegality, shame, wars, slavery. You can overcome. You can become the refined, human you're created to be. You can become the genius you're meant to be. You can overcome, deficiencies in your academic qualifications. You can overcome your deprivations. You can overcome their starvations. You can overcome the injuries of war, post-traumatic, stress disorder. You can overcome all those things. That's post-traumatic stress disorder. You can overcome. You can overcome their enslavement, their imprisonment. You are born free spiritually. So do everything you can, to overcome whatever puts you into prison. Whatever imprisons your essence, your conscience, your consciousness. Do everything to overcome it. Life is larger than logic. You are born a conqueror. You are born a dominator. The air, land, and sea should obey you while you obey Almighty God. The natural forces, the fire, the water, the air, the days, the nights, the fish in the ocean, the lion in the jungle, they should all obey you. Why? Because you're created with intelligence. That's the real factor that separates from other animals. You're created and endowed with a greater intelligence. You're created with a higher consciousness. Yes, you're created. And socialization and evolution has given you a purer and refined language. You evolve socially, mentally, psychologically, economically. You build cities. You learn to do aeroplanes and all those things. You build warships. You build nuclear. But don't use them to destroy yourself. Life is larger than logic. You are born to dominate and conquer the environment. But don't do that at the expense of humanity. Be careful, beware. The way you treat people you meet on your way going, you might meet them on your way coming. Don't cross the bridge of prosperity and burn it. Don't cross the bridge and burn it. You will always return. You will always come back somehow. What goes around comes around. Men are sometimes masters of their fate. But remember, whatever you do, you are a slave to the fate that ordains your fate. You are a slave to the purpose that incubated your existence. You can't go higher than your destiny. You can't go higher than divine purpose. You are a microcosm in a macrocosm. Yes. You are an ingrate that is loved. You are an ingrate that is appreciated. You are a sadist that is loved. You are a corrupt file. You are infected with the virus of, inhumanity, barbarism, vanity, pride, arrogance, vengeance. You are infected. Your soul is infected. You need to be disinfected. Your immorality humiliates your dignity. You need rehabilitation, not condemnation. You need to be sensitive, sensitized, You need rehabilitation. You need reorientation. You need moral recreation to disinfect your aspirations and help you, achieve a glorious destination. Your life is ruled by money, pride. Some of us are ruled by what we hear, others by what we see. Yet, it is the duty of man to overcome these sensitivities, these sensibilities. It's the duty of man to refine his mentality and live like the genius he's meant to be, like the creature of valor and honor she is meant to be. Some are downgraded just for being women. Others are downgraded just for being men. Some are downgraded because of their tribe, because of the religion, because of their religious affiliation, because of their political affiliations. Some are simply hated because of regionalism, because of the region they come from. Why do we proliferate hatred? Why do we encourage, economic hitmen? Why do we enslave one another? Why do we encourage colonialism? Why don't we help with the strong? Why don't we protect the weak? Why don't the relatively enlightened among us protect the vulnerable, the illiterates, the ignorant? Why don't we refine our society? Why don't we create moral security, attain, mental liberty? Why don't we try to grow economically, scientifically? Why don't we build bridges, at least, to encourage one another? Why is there no cross-fertilization of ideas? Why are we starving our university professors, the dons, the scientists? Why are we starving our teachers? Why are the politicians so corrupt? Why are we politicizing our military, the Air Force, the Navy, the police? Why are the immigration officials so corrupt? The custom officials so corrupt? Why do nurses conspire with the doctors to sell their old babies? Why do we have more kidnappers? And why do we have more assassins? Why is the spy so shy? Who rules our morality? What rules our sensibilities? There's a village in man. There's a village in you. There's a humanity in you. You're a carrier of divine destiny. You're a carrier of divine glory. You're born. Once you're conceived and born, you're entrusted with a calling. A calling to be great. A calling to live life, better than you met it. It's not just a calling of confession. It's a calling, that dignifies your profession. It's a calling that you both confess and you profess. So confess your profession and professionalize your confession as well. Practice what you preach. That's what it's supposed to be. Be the glory of society. Be the light, in your society. Refine your taste buds. You are greater than what all you're born into. You are thrown into this mighty ocean and asked to swim to the shore of value, the shore of glory, the shore of victory. But intelligence is a life jacket. You're not just thrown in there. You're thrown there with a life jacket. So don't allow the predators, the sharks, don't allow the predators in this ocean, the critics, the assassins, don't allow them to destroy you. Don't allow them to destroy your value. Don't allow them to devalue you, to destroy your mentality, your morality. Above all, don't let them to destroy your spirituality. You are greater than what you're born into. I repeat. You are bigger than your problems. Problems are servants. They serve, they attend you, and they live. So look up. Dear man, dear woman. Look up. Today you might be homeless. You might be jobless, permitless. You might be childless today. Don't give up. Look up, don't give up. Don't mess up and set up. Don't give up. You belong to the top. Reconcile your values. Reappraise your values, your priorities. Stop making them a priority that see you as an option. Learn to forgive, learn to tolerate, learn to reconcile, with your offenders. But still, keep them at arm's length. Because that aimed to destroy you before is not giving up. That aimed to swallow you before is not giving up. Beware. Be aware. Life is larger than logic. But above all, remember, you're not promised a smooth voyage, but a safe landing. I wish you good luck. I wish you victory. I wish that you understand your purpose of being created. You understand the value of your existence. You understand your destiny. You understand where you're coming from, why you're here now, and where you'll be hereafter. Above all, remember that you might not be consulted before your generation, before your creation. But in this era of enlightenment, relatively, the key to your destination is in your hands. The key to the ignition of your destiny is in your hand. If you chose to start that engine of value, engine of morality, engine of glory, salvation, your decision might decide and define your destination. Your decision relatively defines and decides your destination. So the ball is in your court. Relatively, as you make your bed, so you lie on it. Cut your coat according to your cloth. Cut your coat according to your cloth. Cut your coat according to your cloth. Life is larger than logic. Here, I rest my case. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.